we were talking about deceptive trade practices. Something that's been in the news in the Metro Milwaukee area has been the Cannon Dumfries and Habush and Rotier suit that's going on right now.
Yeah, we've seen this play out before. In AdWords, you can bid for pretty much any term, including trademark terms, names of individuals. Google, being as big as it is, can't really monitor that. They do have trademark policies now, actually ones that are recently revised too. They're trying to keep ahead of, they want to keep out of the fray.
Right, really they don't want to be sued.
They don't want to get in the lawsuit. That's Google's stance, so understand that. They're going to try to say, look, it's too burdensome for us to monitor it,
right,
and leave it to the individuals to figure out. For me individually, it feels a little bit to me kind of like, if I'm McDonald's, I just want to say, look, I'm better than Burger King. I think you have a different opinion when it comes to using somebody's name.
I do, because a lot of states have a law that says it's an invasion of privacy to use someone else's name or image in advertising, and the folks at Habush, who are sort of the named partners, like Robert Habush, are saying you're using my name. You don't have the right to do that.
But it just so happens his name is the company. Isn't the flip side of that just that the company name happens to be his name?
I think that's the argument.
If he had a name Wisconsin law firm,
right,
and they used that, is then it okay?
Then it probably is okay, but it'd still be an interesting case to see how it played out. The statute is clearly intended to be more about personal, and if your name is Robert Habush and you start a law firm, Habush and Rotier, then, or Habush, Davis and Rotier, I can't remember what their name is now, they've gone through a number of iterations, but in any event, it's all tied to who the most visible partners in the firm are. It's not a Foley and Lardner, where the Foley and the Lardner are no longer members of the firm and not been alive in many decades. You're talking about real people and their actual names that are also their company name. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, and obviously I've been approached by this by both clients as well as I've gotten the emails from individuals, freaking out because they found out that their competitor is purchasing their name. What can I do? I have to say, first of all, I'm not the attorney. You need to talk to somebody if you really want to actually engage in any of these. What I can tell you is Google's probably not going to take it down if they're just using your name, as long as it meets Google's guidelines, which are that you can't, in your ad, say something like, Paul's website business is horrible. That can't be your advertisement. You could say, Paul's website business exists, learn about us in comparison. You can make generic statements which lead you to a site which allow people to make an independent review of it. You just can't lead with a statement in those advertisements about it.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how Google winds up responding to some of this stuff too, because just judging from the media of it, I don't think either of these companies, it's not about the money.
Right.
It seems to be a little bit more personal, and that says to me that it's probably not going to settle. It's probably going to be something that goes to trial, goes through the appellate process, potentially even goes to the Wisconsin Supreme Court. The Wisconsin Supreme Court rules that Habush has a right to control the use of his name in advertising. Google has to comply with that.
Right, and then how do they enforce that compliance?
Right.
They're trying to stay out of this, and
right.
They have in the past with, we had the issue with Pontiac and Mazda. We had the issue with that airline. We've had a number of instances where this has come up before. I'm not sure if any of these have ever gotten to an appellate court level. So I don't know. I don't think we have a ruling on this.
Right. There's not a clear settled law in this area. On the other hand, if we look over to copyrighted materials, almost every internet service provider or web host or large entity like that has a policy that says if we get a takedown notice saying, there's copyrighted material on this website, we're going to take it down because we don't want to go through some kind of complicated adjudicatory process. We'll just pull it. And so Google could move in that direction where they would, instead of saying, do whatever you want, we're staying out of it, they could say, if we get complaints, we're pulling it down.
What's interesting about that to me is Google specifically tried to avoid that line in YouTube's case.
Right.
Initially with YouTube, that's what they tried to do. Let us know, we'll take it down. Well, yikes.
Yeah.
How many people do you have to employ for how many hours of the day to take down copyrighted material from YouTube?
Right.
Instead, they shifted to say, hey guys, do you just want to indicate that it is your video and we'll share some of the money with you? I mean, they're trying to find ways not
Right.
to be a regulatory body.
Right, right. And it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.